Hello, welcome back to another video. I'm glad you're here. Today still in the shop from last video. That's why I'm wearing the same clothes, and I'll probably be wearing something different by the end of this video. I'm going to get started on this video today, waiting on some other stuff to finish it up. But basically what I'm going to do is, I got all this wood that you saw me throwing around at the beginning of the video. I'm going to make a jewelry box, and it's gonna have a mirror in the top of it, so that when you open it up, there'll be a mirror there, and you can try your necklaces on, or whatever, earrings, girl stuff. This is for a girl, so I can build about anything. I know I build a lot of manly things, but I mean, I can do just about anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this box together, and I think actually before I put it all the way together, it's going to have some dividers in it. So I think what I'm going to do is get everything laid out here as far as where this is going to go, and I'm going to put just a couple of slots on either side of this, so that I can take another one of these and it'll be able to slide down into the slot at the end, and it'll line up, and it'll have I think it'll have like 3 dividers. I may put more or less. I'll just kind of see as I go, but I'm gonna lay that out before I put it together, and that way after it's all glued together and everything, I'm gonna sand it down. You'll see what I mean when I say I'm gonna hold the whole thing together, clamp it together, and sand it on all 4 sides, basically before it's finished. What that's going to do is going to make flush edges and everything else. When I put the hinges on, it'll open and close, and everything will line up good. So I'm going to go on and get the notches done, or the grooves or whatever, for the dividers. I'm going to go on and get that done, probably off camera. We'll come back to putting it together, and it's going to be about 12 inches by 8 inches, and it's going to be, give or take, about 4 inches tall. The bottom's going to be a little bit thicker, deeper. The top's going to be not as thick, and then it's going to open up, have the mirror in it, and all that other stuff. So let me get these grooves cut out, then we'll come back to assembling the box itself, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so now we've got the grooves in it. To do this, it's going to be build the bottom of it, and the top part, do it the same way. They're built basically upside down. I'm using the fence of the table saw here. It makes a pretty good right angle, keeps everything kind of flat and flush and where it needs to be. Lining these ends up, they are a little bit long, but that won't matter, because like I said, later I'm going to sand the whole box down all together and flatten and flush everything up and clean it all up before I go on to the staining. And we'll get to that later. It's going to be a kind of a different stain than what probably a lot of people are used to, but we'll get to that when we get to that point. So get that lined up, put some glue on this, shoot it down, turn it around, glue it, shoot it again, and then I'll measure for sure to make sure what size these sides need to be, and then I will glue and shoot them in as well, and then we'll come back and do the top. Now what I've got here is essentially a box ready to go. It's in, of course, it's in 2 pieces. I'm going to let all this, I'm going to let the glue set pretty good for a while. Make sure everything's held together good enough. What I'm going to do next is clamp this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Is I'm going to get this lined up as close as I can, and then clamp it on probably the corners, and then the clamp will be able to swivel back and forth so that I can sand all the sides and edges and square everything up and flush everything up really good before I put the hinges and stuff on it. So we'll get to that after the glue dries and move on to the next step. So now next thing I'm going to do, now this is the bottom. You can see it's chipped a little bit. It's not really going to matter. This is all going to be stained black. That's going to be at the back on the bottom. It'll never be seen again anyway. But what I'm getting ready to do now is, while I've got it, now that everything's lined up and sanded down where it needs to be, I'm going to go on and put the hinges on it. And then I'll be able to come back around with some hand paper and take these sharp edges off and clean everything up before I stain it. And now we have a box that opens and closes. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use a stain. This is a stain from Keda Wood Dyes, K-E-D-A. You can look them up if you want. They make powdered wood dyes that are mixed with water, and it's really kind of neat. You use hot water, and then you mix the dye in, and then it's or the stain, I guess, and then you stain your piece as you would any other stain. This is kind of neat because once it dries up, you can still glue things and stuff like that. There's not a big concern of an oily finish on it or anything like that, and it dries fairly quick as long as you don't soak the wood down whenever you're staining it. So let's get to that. Now we have a black stained box. The dividers are back here. They're going to go in later. We'll get back to that stuff after this dries. Like I said, probably overnight, maybe a couple days. We'll come back and finish this project up, put a clear coat on it and everything else. So let's let this dry up, and then we'll move on to the next step. So now this has had a chance to dry. The stain is all dry, and box works good and everything. Got some dust on it. We're gonna get all the dust off of it, and then we're gonna take it out here into the spray booth. I'm gonna flip it upside down and spray a coat on the bottom of it. One good coat will do on the bottom. It's not really gonna matter that much anyway. I'll let that dry real good, and then after that's dry, I'll flip it back over and spray the inside and outside and everything real good, and then let that sit for another 24 hours or something probably before I get back to it again. Spray the dividers too. Everything will be clear coated, and then we'll move on to putting the felt bottom in. I don't know if I've said anything about that yet, but what I'm going to do is use this old t-shirt that I'm not going to wear anything. It's old, it's wore out and everything anyway, but this is kind of the color I'm going for. There's a vinyl sticker that's going to go on top. It's going to be pretty close to this color, and I'm going to cut the section out of that, and it will go down in the bottom of the box. And then when the dividers go in, it'll be like a kind of a felt bottom, but it's not actually felt. So, but it's a cloth fabric, so it'll be nice. And then of course, like I said, there's going to be a mirror inside here, and then I'm going to take some kind of a string or rope or something and attach it on the sides over here, so that once it's opened, it'll only open, let's see if we can get focused. There we go. It'll only open to just past 90 degrees. Take a look at it. You want, trying to have something to where when it's sitting here and you're sitting down at it, when you open it, it'll open to a good angle that you can see yourself in the mirror to, try on, the jewelry or whatever. So I'm gonna go out here, spray the bottom of it, let that dry, finish spraying the rest of it, the dividers and everything else, and then we'll come back after everything's dry and put the cloth in the bottom of it, put the mirror in, put the dividers in, attach the string to hold it open, and then it will be done until the last thing to do will be to put the stickers on. It has her name on it, and it's gonna have a bow and arrow symbol over here, also made from a vinyl sticker. She's really into archery and actually really good at it, so that'll be nice to have there. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe put like 2 thin glitter lines. Probably do that actually before the stickers and everything put on. Like I said, let me go clear coat it and let that sit, and then we'll move on to the next parts of the project. So there it is, all finished up. I got the clear coat on it. It's been a couple days. Put 2 coats of clear coat on it, sanding in between coats. It looks really good, even just like it is. It's got actually got some texture to it. I didn't sand the wood down really good because I wanted it to have kind of a rustic look to it, kind of a, just give it some texture and everything. So next thing I'm getting ready to do now is I'm going to put the cloth bottom in it. You can see this shirt here. I'm going to cut the section out there, and I'm going to size it to fit down inside here, and then I'm going to glue it down in there with just some wood glue. Actually, it works really well and dries clear and everything, so it won't stain the fabric or anything or leave any dark spots, or shouldn't do anything like that. And then I'm going to cut this mirror. I've got a mirror here, piece of mirror that you saw me cut earlier, and I'm going to finish trimming it up, cleaning it up, and getting it sized to fit inside here. And I will probably put some super glue or something behind it to help hold it. And I'm also going to put glazier points, stuff they use to hold like picture frames, glass in and stuff like that, around it to help secure it even better. And then like I said, there's going to be some strings right here that are going to hold this open at an angle, just so it doesn't fall open all the time when you're using it, and it can be used to better use the mirror while you're using it. So I'm going to go on and cut this. I'm going to do this off camera. It's going to be kind of tricky, so I'll just come back to that after it's done, and we'll work on the mirror and take a look at it. So let's get to that and be right back. So there's the cloth down the bottom of it. Got the dividers put in, and still closes and everything. It actually has just a small gap in it, which is actually, I think, is going to work out good anyway, because it's got a good solid close on it. But it'll let air in. Things won't get any excess moisture or anything in it. But yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the mirror and get it put in here, and then from there we'll put the strings on it after that and get this thing to set up so when it opens you can use the mirror. much super glue, I doubt the thing will ever go anywhere anyway. But still going to put a few of these glazier points in here. Basically they go in like this. They drive into the wood and they just hang over and help support the glass, or in this case the mirror, anything like that. There we go, coming together. You can see the mirror on there. And the next thing to do will be to attach the strings onto there, so that it'll open kind of at an angle, so that when you're using it, it'll be easy enough to see yourself in and get your stuff out of there and do whatever you need to with it. Here it is all done. I was going to do this on camera. I thought I was doing it on camera. The camera was not on, so I spent a lot of time talking to apparently no one. But here's the thing on the front of it. If you're going to focus. Here's the sticker, the name on it, Gretchen, and then like I said, with the bow and arrow for like her archery and stuff. And then I did do a kind of a glitter theme. You can kind of see it. You catch it in the light, right? This is also another piece of vinyl up here on top and bottom, and yeah, it's kind of showing up there on the bottom and stuff. It's a really shiny, kind of a glitter looking. Yeah, there you go, kind of a glitter looking vinyl. It looks really neat. Something else I did do off camera, on the inside too, was I used these strings here on either side to hold it open, so you can kind of see inside of it and see, you know, whatever you're doing. Ends up with three compartments here. So overall, like I said, it's a really neat project. I think it turned out fairly well. The colors overall match pretty decent. You know, everything's just a shade off, but you know, I think it's pretty good overall. So there it is. Gretchen, enjoy it. Brittany loves you. This is yours for your birthday. Have a happy birthday. And hope you have a great day and everything else. And that's going to do it for another one. That's the longer video. It's one of the bigger projects I've done. There's a lot of steps and a lot of stuff to do, so you know, kind of took a little bit longer than normal. But I wanted to include everything in the video without cutting a lot of stuff out or leaving everything, you know, not complete. So there it is. Thank you all for stopping by. If you enjoy the content here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then whenever you subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of the upcoming videos. And we'll see you all next time. Take care. See what I'm okay, we'll try to talk here or something.